Thank you for tuning in to Candid Stories of My Soul with your girl Racquel. Today we have a special guest and you've seen her before. The first interview we did was entitled Seasons and Blessings with Honey the Healer. She is back with us today to give us some updates. So stay with us and we will be right back and get into it. Much love and peace to all watching and or listening to Candid Stories of My Soul podcast with myself as the host, RacquelShelby. From the moment we take our first breath and every experience that follows builds us up and creates the individuals we are today. In life, we will experience both the good and the bad because in order for balance to exist, both must coexist. There cannot be good without bad, nor can there be chaos without peace. We are souls experiencing humanity. The Creator is the author of it all. Whether we believe in a God source or not, He is within us all and is present at all times, embedded in us like our DNA. You will get to audibly witness many journeys of individuals as they are living, breathing, and ever-growing documentaries in the flesh. Many will attest to how the Creator was there, and many of these accounts will be mind-blowing. Please share with your family and friends and enjoy the message we have for you today. Thank you guys for sticking with us. So, honey, how have you been?
I've been awesome. How about you?
I've been pretty good. I can't complain. I know since we've talked, you've had a baby. I know that you are a yoga instructor. You do hair. You sell all type of crystals and jewelry. What else you have going on? It's a lot, and I want you to go ahead and tell us.
Well, I'm also a Reiki Master teacher, so I teach Reiki. So I actually have a couple of things coming up. I have a Reiki class coming up in May. I have a couple of events coming up. One of the events, which is awesome, I'm just hosting. It's a lady named Michelle. She is a channeler, a trance channeler. So if you know about Abraham Hicks or Bashar, she pretty much channels these higher beings and you can ask her a question. So that's happening April 30th at Bloodline Dynasty Tattoo Shop, which is my husband's shop. Yeah, so that's super awesome. We did that almost 2 years ago and it was transformational for a lot of people. April 29th, we're doing Thick Thighs and Fairy Vibes, which is a sacred dance with microdosing and Reiki, a Reiki guided meditation done by me. And I'm doing it with a couple of other friends, so that's super awesome. What else we got? I'm also starting to teach Reiki Master courses, so my students can become Reiki Masters. Oh, and I just started teaching jewelry classes too, so that's coming up in June. So I have a lot of stuff going on. I'm super excited about. I do have a new baby. She just turned 8 months. Her name is Zyla. She's such a joy. That was a journey on its own, from having multiple miscarriages to 2 second-term miscarriages, and then this amazing rainbow baby that I have. So a lot of blessings, a lot of good things.
Well, congratulations to you with your child. She is beautiful, by the way. She really is. Yeah. So how do you manage all of these things with being a new mother?
I still microdose a little bit from time to time. I meditate. I set my intentions and I just take it one day at a time, one moment at a time, and not try to figure out too much, but just follow instruction on what I've been guided to do, which is doing these classes. So a lot of times you get instruction on what to do and you feel overwhelmed because of all the things that you're thinking about that has to happen. So I'm just putting everything out there. and the help will come. Whatever I need will come. So yeah, I'm just managing it by moment, not by day, but by every moment.
That's all you can do. And
Yes.
so my question to you is, what would you say your strongest gifts are spiritually? Because I know without a shadow of a doubt, since the last time we've had an interview, we both have grown. I mean, you got to that. There is no way around it. You know what I'm saying? So have you really gotten in tune with what your strengths are? Have you discovered any new gifts or anything like that?
Well, when you have a baby, sometimes your gifts can be what's the word? Like times 10.
Exacerbated?
Yeah, like exaggerated.
Yeah.
So, um, one of those is, so I'm a highly sensitive empath. There's empaths and then there's highly sensitive ones, which can be a gift and a curse. But I can feel everything. So I can feel what people are feeling. And some years ago, I had started tapping into telepathy, and not on purpose, but like it did freak me out in the beginning. But like now, I'm very connected with my kids. So if I ever need them to do something, or if I'm calling them in my head, they come from downstairs and be like, "Did you call me?" And I'll be like, "Yep." um, and two, like sometimes while I'm on social media or just being around other people, I can pick up their thoughts. So sometimes that can be challenging because sometimes you can be offended.
Mm.
But other than that, it the special part of it is that you know what people need, you know what they need help with. So that can also make you more understanding. Um, what else? One thing too is I can sense when something is about to happen, or even something little like my husband coming home. I can always sense when he's about to come home, like a dog. It reminds me of my dog I had growing up. Like the dog will start going crazy 15 minutes or 20 minutes before the owner gets home. And, the owner gets there. So it always trips me out when that happens. Like I'm always right. Like, whew, that was crazy. um, so that's special in me doing Reiki on people too. So I can feel what they're going through. I can pick up on the negative thought patterns that they're struggling with. Um, what else? There's quite a few. Like there's so many different gifts that we all can have. So it's kind of hard to put words to everything. But they are definitely developing. My dreams have enhanced a lot since I got pregnant.
Mm.
Um, so I had dreams about my baby. I saw what she looked like. I saw that it was a girl before I found out it was a girl. Um, I've been connecting with my own ancestors, but like ancient ancestors, very, very ancient ancestors. And also my husband's ancestors too. Like that was new for me. That happened last summer while I was pregnant, which was mind blowing. Like one of his ancestors tapped in while I was meditating,
Mm.
and she had a whole musical intro and started I was having contractions at the time, so she started talking me through the contractions and telling me how to disconnect my body from my mind, basically. And it worked. Like it was so amazing. But that was my first time experiencing something like that, and the ancestor having a music intro. I'm like, what? Who has an intro?
I like whoever this ancestor
So,
is, honey. I like it. Come in with the bang.
yes.
Shit.
So it helped a lot. I was having early contractions. So by the time I had the baby, I used those same breathing techniques that she told me to do. So I was able to pretty much go through the whole labor with ease and flow. It was not easy, but it happened with ease and flow. And she came pretty fast. It all happened pretty fast and worry free. Everything happened, everything was good. So yeah.
Now, did you do a home birth or did you have a?
No, I did hospital birth. My
Okay.
first plan was to do a home birth, but I didn't really have the support I really wanted. It would have been my first home birth. So at the last minute, I decided to go to the hospital, which I'm glad I did, because who was going to clean all that stuff up?
Oh my God, you got a point. You got a point.
Yes.
You
I was able to drop the load and go back home.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that is amazing. So I know last time we had the interview, we was talking about your history coming up as a Jehovah Witness, or having a Jehovah Witness background. Do you maintain any contact with any of your people, or are you just kind of over here and they over there? How does that work out?
I'm still cool with my family. For years, we weren't.
Okay.
But the more that I forgave and healed myself, that just started fixing itself. My main thing was to feel better and just let that stuff go. And the end result was them getting better too, and getting a closer relationship with my mother. I can't say that it's still a normal relationship, but it's better than what I had before. And I felt compelled to go to an assembly that they had a couple weeks ago. I don't know if I use the right word. I would say inspired, not compelled.
Okay.
So inspired to go. And because my kids were gonna go. So we all haven't gone in years. For me, it's been almost 15 years. So there's a lot of people that I grew up with that we were really close with, and I just haven't had any contact with any of these people. There were, friends that my parents had that pretty much helped raise me. So, when people don't think about things like that, when you tell them you were raised in a religion, you're no longer that. Like, that was a whole part of my life that I just walked away from. So it was really good seeing so many people I haven't seen in such a long time. Um, and just I really wanted to see how they ran things now, because I know everything's totally different. The music's different. The music used to be more like Catholic music, a little bit, very boring and straight to the point. But now they done put a little bit of vibe to it.
Oh, wow. Look at
It was
them.
like a total no back in the day. So just with little stuff like that, and they use, it's like they try to use words like your spirit or your energy, different words like that.
Mm-hmm.
And but they don't believe in stuff like that. But it's like in so many ways you have to use these words to be able to explain something.
Yeah.
So it was just interesting seeing them trying to explain different things. And I see that, like, now this is all that they have, especially with everything that's going on. Like, they're very, very close, and this is just all that they have. So if anybody's struggling with like depression or other people that they recruit, if they don't have family support, like, this is their whole support system. And once you get recruited and they start studying with you or whatever it is, you get a lot of support from them. So I forgot about all of that stuff. Like, I had, once I left, I had a lot of negative views on it, which was, a lot of the brainwashing. I've been through a lot of low moments about stuff like that, and walking away from everybody, walking away from my family. So now that I never like to say I'm completely healed of something, because you never know. But now that I'm more healed, I have a different perspective of it, a different view. So now I see more why people do the things that they do in that religion and why they love it so much or why it's so important to them, to help me be a little more understanding to my family, and also to see how I became the person that I am now. Like, I still have a lot of those morals coming from
Mhm.
that religion, which I'm thankful for. Um, they teach you how to be teachers.
Mm.
So, I mean, like now, you see, I'm teaching everything. I'm teaching a lot of different classes. So, a lot of my core beliefs, a lot of the core of who I am comes from that. So, that part of me I can't change. So, that was a really big reason why I wanted to go, like, because it was just a whole lot that I didn't remember. And just wanted to see everybody's perspective. And it was just nice to see so many people that was like family back in the day. And some people teared up when they saw me. So it was like, oh, I miss you guys too, but I can't come back.
Yeah. I think by default, just looking at everything and all the information and just the energy in general, everything has no choice but to evolve. So they're probably evolving as well. Um, the the deconstruction is complicated and often hard. And just from my perspective, I think it's because people have a hard time feeling like they didn't know something. And I don't know what that's about. Like they've been duped or I've spent all my life in this, that, and the third. Instead of just taking it as, we all come into knowing at our time of knowing, and this journey is an ever growing journey. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not nothing, it's not a race, you know. And
Mhm.
I think in general we just take things too serious. I mean, because we're indestructible, right? And so I think we need to learn to really love and just enjoy more of this life. I do believe that religion is necessary for those who need it. I think it's a stepping stone, though. I think it's like the beginning, the ground, like kindergarten, maybe. Hell, I'll
Mhm.
even give it middle school, if that might offend some people. But I think from then on you graduate. But it does set the building blocks of morale and structure and things like that. And they use a lot of those principles if you think about it in like AA and stuff like that. It just, it helps give some kind of guidelines. So I won't demonize it from that aspect, but I think the problem is those that let me get this chair off the wall. Those that take it so serious and don't allow any option of, like, you don't have to be so concrete in your beliefs, because beliefs are just that, they're belief, and anything you believe in, you give life to. If they would just be more fluid in that, it would be better. But no, I think it just the fact of you've got to feel like how I feel, because if you don't feel like how I feel, then that means that what I feel is not valid and it's not true. It's so not true. But that comes with growth. So,
Yes.
you know, we're
Yes.
getting there. We're getting there. Um, so with your whole you doing the Reiki and stuff like that, have you ran into some, or can you think of any instances that really stood out? And I'll give you an example. I have a girlfriend that does it. And she says a lot of times people's ancestors come through. She's seen all type of strange things pop up in the room with her while she's done that, beautiful things, strange thing, all type of stuff. So are there any experiences that you can recall like that, or unique to whatever?
So, like I was saying before, my strongest um, is feeling. So, a lot of times, let me see, I didn't really start experiencing strange things until I introduced microdosing and Reiki. So I do that as a service where we do about 1 gram of microdosing. I make a tea, and the tea has herbs and things that help with brain healing and cognitive issues that you may have, or um, depression, just different things like that. Like, psilocybin already helps with that, so these herbs kind of just work with it. But so yeah, we drink the tea. Sometimes I may drink it with them. I kind of just go with the flow of it. I don't really plan on what to do. But I've had the most strange things that happened was to people that were molested at really young ages. And it's kind of like, I mean, I don't want to scare people, but it's kind of like an exorcism starts happening. So sometimes, sometimes their body will start shaking, and the anger and rage starts coming up. So a lot of times I can feel it before they're feeling it, and I'm telling them how to let it go. A lot of times I don't talk much during the session, but when things like that happen, I start talking them through it and explaining how to let it go. So I can't off the back remember seeing anything strange. I've never seen anything strange. I always go in asking for protection. So outside of that happening, I've never had any like strange things happening. But that was the most strange for me. The first time that happened, I'm like, they did not say this in that book. You know, when I studied to become a practitioner, I'm like, and they explain a little bit in the book of some things that can happen, but they just tiptoe around, you know, they keep it kind of general. So yeah, that's been the most strange thing. It's kind of like an exorcism happening, their body starts shaking and the rage is starting to come to the surface. So, you know, if you've never seen anything like that, that can be kind of scary. But in those moments, you know, Reiki is a very powerful energy and it protects you. So I've never went in not asking for protection. So I can't say that I've experienced anything crazy. But the good part though is before I go into, I ask for my ancestors or their ancestors to give them any messages that they may need. And a lot of times they could come through symbols or seeing different color lights, or just different energy surges throughout the body. So to me, that's like the awesome stuff. I love hearing stories like that. And even afterwards, a lot of times that they'll tell me I was in their dream helping them, or they took another microdose or another however many grams afterwards, and they would tell me I was there with them. And like at first I wasn't understanding what was happening. Like, well, how come I'm not aware of me being there? But I understood, it helped me understand more on how we're multidimensional beings. Like this is my soul going out helping people, whether I'm conscious of it or not. So that was even more awesome to me, that I'm coming up in people's trips, guiding them and helping them still. So yeah, doing Reiki and especially incorporating psilocybin has been transforming on every level for myself and for other people. So honestly, I kind of don't even really do regular Reiki anymore. It's mostly been the microdosing and Reiki. And a lot of times people only need one session and they get the guidance and things that they need. And the guidance just doesn't happen in that one session. The guidance continues on. So even if we didn't do the mushrooms with the Reiki, that still happens, but it's like the mushrooms just intensifies it. So I started doing it probably about 4 years ago. So even still to this day, I still have people inboxing me how they came that one time and how it still transformed their life, and how they quit smoking cigarettes or they quit drinking. And a lot of these people I'm friends with on Facebook. So I'm seeing their lives transform just on social media. So that's very gratifying for me. It was very scary to do at first, 'cause I just really didn't want to step into people's lives like that.
Oh, I
But I'm
bet.
glad that I did, because it wasn't just about me.
Oh yeah. I got a funny story I'll share with you with this whole doing the mushroom thing. And so, oh my God, ridiculous. So, girlfriend of mine, same girlfriend I was talking about earlier, she had like this, it was her birthday. And so she had like a little retreat thing off the water. And it was here. I'm trying to think of where, Oxford. It was in Oxford. So we're off the water and we wrote out some stuff and said something, did our intentions or whatever. And she put it in the tea. And so everybody drank their tea and we did some little ceremony or something or the other. And I don't know if we did the ceremony before the tea, but all that shit was encompassed in the hookup. Okay. So then we go and sit down and I'm talking and because it didn't come on right away. And so all of a sudden my stomach, does this little flip. Okay, whatever. So I'm talking. And then I said, I'm gonna go to this restroom. I go to the restroom. First off, I can't stop laughing. I literally like could have laughed abs in. Like that's how hard I was laughing. Like tears was coming down my eyes. I was texting the group like, bitch, I'm turning into Joker. Like what the fuck? Like it was crazy, right? And then after that, without getting too detailed, let's just say I was held up in that bathroom for 3 hours. I couldn't get out of there. Okay. I couldn't get the fuck out of there. So while everybody else is experiencing talking to trees and different shit that they were experiencing, magical shit, I'm held up in the fucking bathroom. It was so ridiculous. And actually, I had something else occur to me in Cancun, but I'm gonna get into that story too. I gotta share it on social media. But with that being said, that's never happened to none of your clients. Like they've never ended up locked up in the bathroom or no shit like that.
No, because it's only 1 gram, and the Reiki is like medicine. So it kind of Reiki energy is an intuitive energy. So the energy helps that person wherever they need help.
And she did
I've
the
been
Reiki
stuck
over the
before.
tea.
Huh?
She did the Reiki over the mushroom. So I don't know what the hell
Well,
that was
no,
about.
you get Reiki in my session. So maybe you needed the Reiki. So I've been stuck before though, feeling like you can't move or, come out of the space. Normally though, that's because I needed to heal from something. But so like in those moments, if you don't sit down and meditate, you're not gonna know what it is, or you're not gonna overcome it. But normally that means you need to sit down and meditate.
Oh yeah, well I couldn't meditate, honey. The way my stomach was feeling, there was no
Did
way.
you eat before?
I was eating a lot of shit. Like that's probably the problem. Like she had like fruit and like a bunch of different stuff like that.
You're not supposed to eat for at least 4 hours. So that can
I think we
definitely.
ate before noon and then we didn't do it till 4. So I don't know what the hell was going on. I don't know. It's me. I have a lot of interesting things that occur. So I just take that as something else crazy in my book of life. But yeah.
Well, sometimes too, like if you were actually using the bathroom, that's purging.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
your stomach, that's your solar plexus. So it's sometimes if it's open, it's like wide open. So you're receiving energy. So if you're around other people and you don't really know them like that, or even if you do really know them like that, so yeah, it's not good to do that. So you could have taken on their energy, and that's why your stomach was feeling like that. So sometimes when I do Reiki on people, my stomach starts growling. So I don't. It don't hurt or anything like that. But now, if I take some mushrooms with other people, my stomach's gonna hurt. It's gonna feel like somebody's stabbing me in my stomach.
Okay, so duly noted. Don't do that. Okay, got you. Yeah, these people. So these were her friends that I met there. I had one other girl that I was familiar with, you know, that was actually like coming to Soul Speak and Eat when I was doing it at the time. But yeah, I didn't know them.
And you
We were getting
probably felt more comfortable in the bathroom. Like a lot of times you just do stuff you don't know, you don't understand why you're doing it, why you're high. You probably felt more safe in the bathroom away from those energies.
Listen,
but
honey,
still,
I
like
gotta be careful.
One of your first symptoms was your stomach did a little flip. That was the first sign right there. Your shit was open and it started taking on other people's energy. When you went in the bathroom.
Listen, so I got another story. I'm gonna share it with you first, because at this point, it's not gonna matter when people hear this. It's been already posted, but so we're in Cancun, and I went because I don't know if you remember Antonio Simpson. Okay, so he was in my grade, and he had a child with my best friend Tiffany Chanel. And so he just got married, not to Tiffany, but to another woman. She's lovely. And we all went to Cancun, me, Tiff, and a bunch of the friends went. And so at this point, we're sitting at the table, like it's the reception period. And so his aunt had a gummy, right? So I take this gummy. I don't know the milligrams or nothing like that. I have no idea. I don't remember. I'm sure she told me. I even looked at the pack, but when I tell you I don't remember. But somehow I forgot I took the shit. Whatever. So I'm talking. Next thing I know. Now, what's weird about this is I've taken edibles before. I typically don't do edibles, not because of a bad experience, but because sometimes I don't like to feel like I'm floating around like that. You know what I'm saying? But this ain't what the fuck happened. This was some different shit. You would have thought I took something else. So all of a sudden, I start feeling funny. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I took that gummy. But then I start having all of these thoughts, all of these feelings. And mind you, we're sitting on the sand off the ocean. So the wind is hitting me. The water is going. It's triggering the fuck out of me. Like, I'm like, what the? It started to get scary really, really quickly. But on the outside, I'm maintaining my cool because I'm like, I can't bug out, you know, because people are going to think I'm nuts. It was like, so, and to give context, so I will always watch other spiritualists and they would talk about shadow work and stuff like that and how this is not fate for the heart and stuff like that. And I do a lot of reflecting and I've been through my share of things, but I'm pretty tough. You know what I'm saying? And generally things really don't, like, I go through my process, but this right here was crazy. Like, I know what they're talking about. Like, I don't know why that fucking happened to me. I went to shadow work times 10. I was sitting up here thinking all of this stuff I can't remember, but it was stuff about me that was just coming up. It was stuff that I was reflecting about my spouse, because Byron was there as well. But I had just got him back because he had stepped away for a minute to go to the hotel room to get something or another, but he had disappeared for too long. So I had to call him. He had fell asleep. So he came back. he was going through something with his skin, like, and then so he came back or whatever. And then he was like helping out, taking pictures, because the camera guy was dropping the fucking ball. And we're in Cancun, a wedding. Like, they need everything they can get. He's really good. He's really good at a lot of shit, but he's really good at pictures too. And so he's out doing that. And like, I don't know. Then I start thinking about like, dog, like what if they start tripping on them? Like, why you all in my face with this camera? It was just so much shit going on. It was shit I was reflecting about me, shit I was reflecting about him. Then I was like, that was unnecessary when it came to him. And then I was like, yeah, you're tripping. Like, people don't even know. A lot of time we assume people are thinking stuff because of what we're thinking. It's our assumptions, you know, and it was just so much. And then I told him, I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Like, it got so bad, I wanted to run. I said, I got to go. I have to go. He's like, well, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I can tell you later, but I have to go. And so then I ended up explaining to him, like, I took an edible. And at this point, I really don't understand, because an edible should not be doing this to me. I shouldn't be having a reaction. This is not DMT. This is not mushrooms. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I know it was triggering some spiritual response that I wasn't looking to get, and definitely not at that fucking time. So he's like, okay. So then we leave and we're walking out, like, and I'm freaking, I'm like, you got to get our chargers from the DJ booth, you know, and I'm trying to be as discreet as possible. This was so crazy because he said I did good. Like, you couldn't notice I was freaking the fuck out. So on the way out, we see Tony, and I'm telling him, I was like, I'm losing my fucking mind. I have to go back to the room. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to make this about me. I'm not trying to fuck nothing up. I'm going to try to come back, but I have to get the fuck out of here. When I tell you I got to the hotel room and I literally was cracking and I was shivering and shaking, and it took every bit of me to pull my shit together. I had to put on a hoodie because I couldn't go back out there and let that wind and all that shit keep triggering me on top of all the triggers I was going through, because I wasn't going to make it. And so we finally got out there, girl. We finally got out there. We walked behind the sign close to the beach. I was freaking out still. And then we sat down and I just ended up zoning out. But that shit was so fucking weird. And what I thought about just today, and usually I'm sorry, y'all, for getting this wordy through the interview, but I think this is interesting for people to know. I thought about it today. I think that same day I was earlier, and I know I have a connection with water, and water is a good thing anyway for anybody. I was standing in the sand in the water saying my affirmations and my prayers, and one of them talks about shadow work and revealing things to me about myself is one of my affirmations. And I think being international, because we got a lot of shit in here that interferes with our spirit, but they don't have those same blockages. And I think speaking over that water like that, this is just what popped on me earlier today. It might not be related, but this is what I just think.
It most definitely is. Well, go ahead.
It triggered that shit at the wrong time. And I don't know why that had to happen to me, but I was like, I'm going to be known as the girl that lost her fucking mind at this wedding. Like, and it's like, why does this shit always, this is the second time I told you the mushroom story. And now and it's ridiculous, right? Because it was an edible. It wasn't mushrooms. It wasn't DMT. It wasn't ayahuasca. It was none of that shit.
So weed is a form of a psychedelic.
It is, but it's never hit me like that.
But yeah, it can do the same, especially when you take an edible. And then even with nature, you were by the ocean, right?
Yes.
So the ocean and the salt, all that cleanses you. So it was just bringing the surface a lot of stuff.
Girl, that was fucking. When I tell you, I was cracking, and I don't feel
and
bad.
The shaking and stuff comes from you releasing that trauma.
I was petrified.
Yeah.
Petrified. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, petrified. Like, I was like, what the fuck is happening? And I knew I was going to come out of it because I know I'm protected. But still at that time, it was very, like, I've never been that scared in my life. And I can't even tell you at this moment what the fuck I was scared of, but I was scared shitless. Like, I was like, I cannot go back out there. And I just,
like, if you were around people, right?
Yes, it was full of people.
Yeah. So like I said before, you're you're probably like me, where you feel things, but you're just like in moments like that, you're not aware that you're feeling other people's shit. So it can freak you out. So you start freaking out like that. Like, I don't like this. I want to get away from here.
Yeah.
It's because you feeling other people's shit. And even if, like, say, if you were talking to somebody and it was just y'all two in the room, you would be looking like, you are fucked up. I can't believe it. I've gone through that quite a few times.
It's too much. I definitely can feel people's stuff, but I think that during most of the time I'm able to deflect that. And I know that shit opened me up, and every alarm that could have went off in my body went the fuck off. And so did I. I had to fly the coop. It's crazy. Absolutely nuts. I appreciate the experience.
I would never again do an edible. For me, it feels like I'm out of control. I don't feel out of control on mushrooms. I mean, I've had a lot of moments where I did kind of feel out of control a little bit, but not anything like the cannabis edibles. Like those, I don't ever want to touch. I don't ever want to touch those. But I've done DMT, LSD. What else? The mushrooms, different types of mushrooms. Pepe. That's all I can think about right now. But DMT is one of the strongest ones. And with all of it, I've had a lot of healing, like miraculous and even like crazy shit. Like, what the fuck? But I was healed. But, too, like, we're so programmed. I think out of human history, we're the most programmed, and on a mass level, the whole world. So it's like when you do see things, you'll be like, what the fuck was that? I ain't never seen no shit like that before, to even reference what it even could be. But too, when I have moments like that, I'll always get my answer. So when I see something I've never seen before, I've never experienced, I'll always end up getting my answer when I let go. Because it's like at first you're like, I need answers right now. I need to know what that was. I need more answers. So whenever you let it go and trust that you're going to get the answers, you'll get your answers. But yeah, I have lots of stories about psychedelics. And too, probably the most, I would say, retarded moment I had, and I've never heard of people hallucinating the same thing, but my friend got married in Vegas and we all did LSD. And it was like they were all tripping because they didn't want the family to know that they had took anything. But I'm like, just tell me smoke some weed. They're not gonna know. But we were all outside of the hotel and everybody saw these big ass roaches. It was like roaches all over the walls. So we ran away screaming. And somebody was videotaping this. So I actually didn't find out. This was like 6 years ago. I didn't find out till last year that there was no roaches.
But all y'all saw the roaches.
All of us saw the roaches.
So and maybe they were from a different dimension. There's no way all of y'all saw the same thing and it wasn't there.
Exactly.
So it was just a different vibration. Why the fuck?
Well, Vegas is a low vibrational place. We were in Vegas. So that's a low vibrational place. So I'm not surprised if that was another dimension, and they were huge. That was traumatizing.
Yeah, Vegas, you know what? So yeah, I gotta be careful. It's something about me and my gut now. Now I'm starting to realize that is a thing. Because when I was in Vegas, when I went to Vegas in 2017, I noticed I had to keep dipping off to the bathroom. It was something going on with my gut. And it's probably the environment that I was in. And that, you know what, that's kind of scary to me though, because it's like I could go anywhere and have an unpleasant time and not know that I'm about to have an unpleasant time. You know what I'm saying? Or freak out. So Shit is crazy.
Well, one thing that I do, so like if I'm flying somewhere, I'll meditate the whole time I'm on the airplane, and I'm imagining this white bubble around me protecting me. So
Okay.
that doesn't happen to me, whether we take psychedelics or not, because, you know, like you said, you go someplace and you don't know what's going to happen. So I just make sure that I protect myself so that, like, because I didn't realize that my whole solar plexus would be open or is open like that, because I've had stomach issues like my whole life. So that's a part of being overly sensitive empath. You just taking on other people's energy constantly and it's tearing your insides up, literally.
Dang, and I never knew that. That's been a problem all along. Hell no.
Yeah.
This is why fellowship is important, because um the soul knows a lot, but the body is limiting. And so when we converse with one another, we're able to put the pieces together, you know. So it's really a good thing. And I say that to say to the audience that never feel bad about what you do not know, because it's beauty in connecting with others and expanding. I mean, if you knew everything, you wouldn't talk to anybody, you wouldn't have any experiences, life would be fucked up and boring. That's why we forgot to come here to experience. So, you know, it's just part of the
Yeah.
gig, and I'm enjoying it along the way. So, what other things would you like to share? Because I know, again, I know some things have occurred since we've had an interview. So, what else?
Um, well, right now with everything is going on, I would strongly encourage people to do psychedelics. With the earth transforming the way that she is, the earth is vibrating at a higher level, which is why she's cleansing herself. All these different things are happening to the planet, which we're supposed to elevate with her. If you're not, you will experience, you know, issues like you were experiencing, like you going crazy, even if you've never taken any psychedelic or nothing, no weed or no alcohol. You could be going through a lot right now and not understanding what's happening to you. Um, People are dropping dead left and right. And to my own understanding, it may be different for other people, but to my understanding, it's because they're not letting go of the trauma and, you know, making the transformation that they need to do, which could be changing your diet and meditating, letting go of these negative thought patterns, um, educating yourself so you know how to let go of the thought patterns. So to me right now is very, very important to go within and meditate. And a lot of times that's hard for people to do. But if you incorporate psychedelics, that makes meditation a little bit easier. It helps you observe yourself a little bit
Yes.
more and understand yourself more. And two, it connects you with your God self, your ancestors, your spirit guides, really your whole spiritual community that you have that has your back. So a lot of times we feel alone in this world, even if we have family or husbands and wives. A lot of times people feel alone and feel like people don't understand them. But you have a whole team of angels and ancestors and God, whoever you want to call God, that has your back and that understands you more than you understand yourself, which is awesome because in those low moments, you can just ask for love and guidance and ask for whatever you need for yourself, or even if it's more understanding about yourself, you can get those answers. But those answers can come a lot faster if you're doing psychedelics. So, like, say if you take 3.5 grams, that's just above the microdosing levels. So you'll have a little bit of a transformation experience. But if you take about 5 grams, you're gonna have more of a spiritual experience. And 7 grams, you're gonna have, you know, on up from that, you have a way more spiritual experience. But there's times where I took 3 grams and it felt like I took 10. So it's really what you need and what your soul needs and what your spirit team thinks that you need at that time. And it's really important to set your intentions and be in a space where you feel safe, not be around other people, maybe one other person where you feel like you can trust them, that really, really, really loves you. Because too, say if you did it with, a few friends that you have, a lot of times it turns up your psychic powers. So you're able to read people's thoughts and, different things like that. So if you have a friend that might feel some type of way about you, you're gonna find out.
Oh, hell yeah. You
So
might mess around and fall out with them.
yeah, exactly. Like, girl, I hear your thoughts. Like, what? Yes, I hear your thoughts.
You want that bullshit, girl.
But to me, it's very important to start connecting within yourself. If you don't know how to connect with somebody that you feel like that or just put it out in the universe that you want to start making these changes, and the people that you need will start coming into your life. You can start going to different yoga classes. There's so many awesome people that I know that teach yoga, that do Reiki. I'm going to a cacao ceremony this Thursday, and that's done by my Reiki Master, who I learned from. So once I got my Reiki practitioner certificate, that's when the doors really started opening for me. I didn't really plan on healing other people. I just wanted to heal myself and my children. But that was kind of like keeping a secret from people on, helping them. So I felt like that was kind of selfish, but that was just my intention in the beginning. But that definitely opened a lot of doors for me, meeting different people, and everybody you meet heals in different ways. They heal the way that they're guided to heal. So it's awesome to meet these different people, to see different ways that they heal themselves. It's so many awesome people out there. So many people that I've met and at first, when my gifts really started to surface, especially seeing past lives and stuff like that, I felt crazy. Like, who am I going to tell this to? So once I started meeting people that had the same experience, and especially when I found the place where my past life was, it was in Atlanta. So when I saw it, I thought it was Africa. I'm like, what? Then I started finding out that the United States of America is the original Africa. And that's why the parts of the Grand Canyon is closed off. A lot of this stuff is starting to come to surface of pyramids being over there, and them finding mummies and things like that. A lot of this stuff is on YouTube. They have actual news articles from the early 1900s where these people were taking pictures of these things and putting it in the news articles. But these news articles are public. There's nobody, thinks to look these things up. So just finding stuff out like that, like I said before, when you start asking for answers and letting go, the answers will come. So most of Black people don't know where they come from. If you live in America, you're probably from here. Your ancestry is from here. There were Black people on this land when Columbus discovered it, and they say he was Black too. So
yeah, that's what I heard, Reese. Ain't that crazy?
Right. So yeah, if you got a lot of questions for God, just go and take you some mushrooms and don't be afraid.
Shoot, and go to the water because it works. It worked for me, honey. That boy works quick. I don't know. That's something different. It was something different.
The good sign from that was you shaking. I know it was uncomfortable, but that was your vibrations being raised. That was that trauma being removed from you.
Oh my God, dude.
So, and I've had moments like that too, where I said that morning, I didn't know I was going to take no psychedelics in the evening. So I said my affirmations and did my meditation. And then when I took the psychedelics, I'm like, oh shit, this is exactly what the fuck I asked for. This is exactly Like I need to be careful about what I ask for.
Yes, you do. That's funny. Oh my God. So like when you're meditating, what is your like way to meditate? Like, do you just be silent? Do you like to listen to the singing bowls or binaural beats, or what is your favorite practice?
Um, I can't say what's my favorite. Well, yes, I can. So my first experience with meditation was getting hypnotized. And since that happened, it was just like I knew how to meditate after that. Well, I had a few sessions with that lady, but basically, a lot of times when you get hypnotized, they count down from a certain number. And every level that you count down, your body gets more and more relaxed. So it's like they're counting down and basically slowing down the brain waves so you can have a more of a visual experience. So that's one thing that I like doing, and it can take some time. So I can meditate for like 2 hours doing something like that and then not feel like 2 hours. But that's how I started experiencing seeing my past life, was doing meditations like that. I will always see like different glimpses of things. So like when you do meditate on deep levels like that, it could be like God or whoever is showing you these things a puzzle. So it's like you may get shown something one day, you may get shown something another day, and then you find out 5 years later, like boom, like this is the whole puzzle put together. So sometimes a puzzle can be, short, or it can be really, really long. But I guess I could say that would be my favorite meditation, but it really depends on the day. Sometimes my meditation is me sitting outside listening to the birds or listening to nature. So really it's whatever I need in that day. Yeah. Even before I did the hypnosis thing, I didn't realize I've been meditating since I was little. So like when I was little, I used to listen to classical music, but I would hide like in a closet to go listen to the music so nobody would make fun of me. I'm the youngest of five. So everybody was listening to like hip hop and stuff like that, which I still liked back then. But my life was kind of chaotic back then as a child. So for me, that was very peaceful. And I used to color. So I would listen to like piano music or nature music, and I would color. Which a lot of times, once people really start stepping into themselves, they'll start seeing or remembering their childhood, and they'll start realizing like, oh my God, I've been doing this, and I just stopped. I forgot about it, or whatever it was. But yeah, I would say my favorite is basically hypnotizing myself.
That's dope. That's real dope. How are you feeling about the future? Well, what you can see today, what do you feel about it?
So personally, I feel like a lot of amazing things are about to happen, but the system has to fall apart for those things to happen. So it's gonna look really crazy and scary for a long time. I do believe that the them that's running this whole shit bag are gonna start staging fake invasions from the aliens.
That's the word on the
But
street.
I do believe I don't even like calling them aliens. They're starseeds. A lot of indigenous people call them starseeds. So they're our ancestors. Not all of them, but some of them are our ancestors. So they're coming back to help us. So they're not coming back. They really ain't been nowhere.
Right.
They still been watching us. But even like now, so some people may even start having dreams about them. That's their way of connecting with you. So like when I found that out, that was like such a relief, because I didn't really understand the dreams that I was having, like what the fuck happened to me. So I feel like that's an important thing to get out there too. Like they'll start connecting with you through your dreams. So when that does start happening, you can intentionally maybe ask questions when you go into those dreams sometimes, or just remember them, write them down. When you write them down, that's acknowledging them, that's showing them that you acknowledge them. So if you're not open to it, they'll leave you alone. So if you want to be open to it, you have to let them know that you're open to it. So yeah, like I said, I feel like it's a lot of amazing things that's about to happen, that is happening. And that's why we need to go within.
Most definitely, most definitely. I think we do have to be careful of being fearful, because I mean, hell, that's what they
And
want
we're
you to
taught to
believe.
be scared. All those movies that have been
Yeah,
out, we're taught to be scared. And
every
even
movie's
now,
like
like the
that.
experiences, I know I still have fear. And in one dream that I have, I wanted to see what they look like. And they were like, no, you're not ready.
Oh wow.
Okay. So then I started seeing other people in those experiences. So when they say that you're not ready, sometimes you may be scared, but you don't know. You think you're ready, but you're gonna be terrified. So they know that about you and they don't want to terrify you. So the moment that you're ready, you'll be able to experience that. So the day that I experience it, I will tell my story.
I love it. I love it. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we get out of here? And before we get out of
um,
here, shout out all your stuff where they can follow you.
There are lots of documentaries out there about psychedelics. One is called How to Change Your Mind on Netflix. Another one is Have a Good Trip. There's an app called Gaia, and you can get it on your TV and on your phone. There's thousands and thousands of videos of spirituality, yoga, meditation. I feel like that's a good beginner's thing to do. Because they have videos on aliens, and I started seeing interviews on there about other people that was experiencing the same thing I was with aliens and other things that I experienced. Um, yeah, so Gaia is spelled Gaia, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's an app you can download, and I believe it's $10 a month. So if you're paying for Netflix, you might as well just turn that one off and just watch the Gaia. They have lots of documentaries on there. I mean, thousands and thousands of documentaries. So any
Wow.
subject that you can think about, type it in. And yeah, I think that's all I can think of. Those are three main things. If you heavily want to get into psychedelics and learn more about it, there's Baba Kalindi that is on YouTube. He passed away a couple years ago, but he's from Detroit and he was um a huge deal because he taught a lot of people about psychedelics. He taught a lot of people about taking high doses of psychedelics and transforming their lives and things like that. So if you really want to get into it, I would say look him up on YouTube and you'll see a lot of his students on there too once you look him up. But yeah, those few things, you can just start out with the Netflix one. How to Change Your Mind and Have a Good Trip. How to Change Your Mind is the docu-series. I think there's like 4 different episodes on there. And they go through pretty much all of the psychedelics and all the different people that have been working hard for the last 30 years to legalize psychedelics again. So yeah, I would strongly suggest to educate yourself on these things because it's about to be legal. It's already decriminalized. It's not totally legal. So all these things are about to change, and it'll be good to jump on a bandwagon
Oh
while
yeah.
you're ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, where can they find you and book your classes and
So on
everything?
Instagram, I am Honey the Master. Facebook, I am Honey Sensei. Um, My website is nakedtruthstudios.co. So all of my information is on there. My phone number, my classes are all on there. So yeah, if anybody has questions, they can email me. I don't mind answering questions. Yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you so much for checking in with me in this interview. I had a good time, good conversation. And
Likewise.
we could probably do it again in the future because there's always going to be updates. It's always going to be something to get into.
It is.
So thank you. You enjoy your day and kiss the baby for me.
I will.
And I'll see you next time.
Alrighty, peace.
Peace.